Greetings, friends. Welcome back to Living Life with Nani and Bobo. Here we are again.
Hi. Today we're just going to talk a little bit about being married for 52 years. What does that look like?
Next year it'll be 52 in March.
That's true. We always are ahead, but it's around the corner, isn't it? So we just wanted to go into that for just a moment. People ask us all the time, how did you stay married for 52 years?
Don't know. My son and I were talking about this the other day, and I said, I don't really know. But no, I don't know. There's just some things that we've done over the years. I know one thing is for us, and I mean, I guess it should be for everybody, it's a Christ-centered marriage, right?
Yeah.
So that adds, it lessens the degree of difficulty, right? If you have a Christ-centered marriage. And there's one thing I want to say that I discovered recently. I like to do some studying it with some Greek and Hebrew references and stuff like that. And I was doing a quick little word study on the word female. And I'm sorry, guys, but this is the truth, that in Hebrew, the word female actually means something that is separate of better quality. So the sooner men realize that and you stop fighting it, life will be a little easier for you.
If you talk to a lot of couples that have remained married for a long time, the joke is you just say yes. Yes to your wife.
Well, there's some truth
everything.
to that. Trust me.
And so that is the truth. And I was watching a video today by a couple.
Happy wife, happy life.
Right. And the funniest thing is they were bantering back and forth with each other. And we do a lot of that. And if people didn't know that we really did care about each other, they would wonder. But after being together so long, you just, that's what you do. And it's harmless, but with some of the things that we established really early on, we would not argue in front of anyone. That was just
especially
so disrespectful.
Your children.
Have you ever been in a situation where the couples are arguing? It is so uncomfortable. You don't know where to look. You don't know what to do. So we always decided that if we had to fake it, we faked it. The other thing was we never said horrible things to each other, like swore at one another.
I'm stunned at when I hear people talking about, my husband swears at me, my wife calls me this, that. It's stunning to me.
We never did that. We were very respectful to each other. We might, I remember there were times you said, I love you, but today I don't like you. But we didn't call each other names.
This is a long time ago when we were much younger. So my wife is of Italian descent, right? And she can be a little difficult when she's angry. And there were times when we were younger that I would tell her that I'd really like to hit you right now. But I never did.
He's Irish, I'm Italian, so you can imagine the arguments. And we were very stubborn and we didn't give in very easily. That, of course, as you mature and realize that half the stuff you were disagreeing about was not important whatsoever.
Which brings me to a biblical point. The scripture talks about not going to bed angry. That's a good idea to keep in mind. You don't... fights can go on for days, right? But you're way better off if you figure it out before you go to sleep.
I think, and to say we were perfect in that, no, absolutely not. And, like I said, the longer you hang in there, the easier it gets, the more you overlook. And now, and this one guy was saying, and my wife said yes all the time, and then all of a sudden she started saying no, and she said, well, that person that said yes all the time isn't here anymore. And that's kind of where I got, was like, when you're really young, you want to please them, you don't want to upset them, you want to, but you get
she doesn't have any problem upsetting me.
No, and now it's like, okay, you just have to be honest and be truthful, be who you are, and I think it takes a long time. And something Terry says I think is really, really good is that you learn to love each other.
Well, that's what I'm not so, my wife and I've talked about this over the years, I'm not so sure that these arranged marriages that some other cultures do is a bad thing. Because at this age, or even when our kids were thinking about getting married, when we were at that age, we're a lot smarter than they were, and you can judge people better. You have better life experiences, this and that. So I'm not so sure the arranged marriage is not a bad thing, but since we don't do that here, you learn to love somebody. I mean, it's just not possible. You might be infatuated with somebody, but it's not possible when you're to be young and know somebody for a few months, few years, and just love them dearly. You learn to love somebody.
Very, very
Because
true.
first of all, you really don't know somebody
No.
until you've lived with them.
That's right. And we were very, of course, extremely young. I was 18, he was 20. I know that's not common anymore. And but the other thing is the word divorce was not going to ever be in the language. It
I mean,
never.
commitment. It's just commitment.
It was a commitment, and God only knows. And someday maybe we'll talk about all that. But we've been through hell and back, and we
As a lot of people
chose-
have. It's not just
yeah,
us,
it's not
but-
just us. In 50 years, you're going to go through an awful lot, and but you learn to respect each other. First of all, like I said, you respect each other. You make it right up front what you're going to put up with and what you're not. And that's another thing. I think a lot of couples, these women, they put up with all this stuff, and then midway through the marriage, like, I can't believe he's doing this. Well, you set standards, and you have to. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
See, a lot of people find themselves in a situation after years of being married where they really don't. When they get there, they find out that they don't want to be in this place that I'm in because they've tolerated some things over the years, and now it's catching up with them because you don't want to tolerate it anymore. But the standard has been set. So it's like Susan was saying, you need to, to kind of establish some things early on that I'm not going to allow you to do this, or talk crazy to me and stuff like that. Which is another point. Don't talk about your spouse to friends or acquaintances or family members after you've had a fight or something, and he did this and he did that, because now you may forgive them and might forget it, but all these people that you've told this to, that's the image that they have in their head of your spouse.
That's a huge one. And I can't tell you how many times we've listened to people, and it's hard to get past that all you see when you're talking to that person is, you did this, this, and this to them. So yeah, that's real important. And those were some of those things from day one we established. We were basically on the same page in raising kids. I was more the disciplinary; he wasn't. But
that's because my father was a very very hard man, and I made a choice early on when we were having kids that did not want my children to be afraid of me.
And here's another huge one, and I can't tell you how many young couples I've heard this from. Put your money together. What is this? You have separate accounts.
Separate vacations.
Yeah, that to me right up front is a trust issue. You're already headed for trouble. And that's why I think a big part of why couples don't last anymore. First of all, divorce is easy to do. And then there's this, we have that separate accounts. So it's like separate lives. Well, why get together then? Why even get married? So that's something from day one. Money went together. It was our money. It didn't matter who was earning it, how it happened.
One of the things that I wanted to talk about too is that, you hear a lot of this opposites attract and all that sort of stuff. My biblical vision of marriage is simply that. So in Ephesians, it talks about, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and his mother, and they shall be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. That's the key. That's the goal, is to become one flesh. Susan has many characteristics that I don't possess, and I have a few that I have that she don't possess. So the idea is to take on each other's qualities. And then you literally become one flesh. You become one person.
That's a really good point. And so those are some of the biggies that kept us together. And of course, we were best friends from day one. So that's who we confide in.
It's the two biggest words is commitment and respect.
Yes.
I mean, how people treat their spouse. I listen to guys, they talk about their wives, and a lot of on job sites, guys will talk about their wives because they're not around. I always say to them, you ain't gonna say none of this if your wife was here. But why do you want to disrespect your wife or your husband. I don't understand that. And so respect and commitment, you can survive it. I just not too long ago, I went to this veterans thing. It's the thing's called Sheepdog, and it's for veterans with PTSD, this sort of stuff. And there was 11 of us, and we committed to this brotherhood. Now I have to go to Texas coming up for an event with these guys, and I don't fly well. I don't do group stuff well. But see, I committed to these guys, so I'm going. So if you commit to something, when you say them vows, you commit. You don't give it up.
But again, society has not supported that, and like I said, they've made it very easy to get divorced. And this falling out of love, I always ask, what the heck does that mean? What do you fall out of love?
You never loved them in the first place.
Yeah, because you, again, like Terry said, you learn to love each other. It should get deeper. It should get stronger, and you should learn to, work through everything. Everything is workable. And now, this is a whole different ball game if there's abuse or anything. Sorry, my hands go.
She's shaking the thing.
He's taking my hands away, but I'm Italian and my hands are always
moving. If you tie her
moving.
hands, she can't talk.
I can't talk.
But she's shaking the camera, and that's
Sorry.
Not good. And I guess this is supposed to be short, so I guess we got to think about wrapping it up. But my relationship with my wife and my relationship with God are based on very couple simple things, not rules and regulations. My wife can't make me do anything physically. I mean, I do what she tells me to do, but she can't make me do anything. But I choose to do the things I do, and I choose to not do the things that will displease her. I want to please her. I don't want to displease her. Same thing with God. If you can keep that in the forefront of your mind, that your basis about, I want to make this person happy. It's not about you. It's about us. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. It was just a short little thing of what worked for us, how we've stayed together, and hopefully that gives some, a little bit of guide points. And our prayer is that couples will stay together.
My gosh, yes.
It's just so sad. Like we've
And
said,
what it does, divorce, we have 3 children, 2 of them have been divorced. And what it does to the kids and the grandkids, it's awful. So now every holiday, the kids got to be schlepped from one to the other, and it's awful.
And people say, we adapt, we'll get through it, but it really does last a lifetime. It really does do a lot to you and to your whole family. And again, as the grandparents, so we would love to just see couples stay together, work it through, figure it out, and most of all, give it to God.
Right.
He will more than give you
the answers
and
in the beginning.
The hope.
If Christ is the center of your marriage, you're in good shape. All right, friends. Well, that's our short little video. We look forward to this thing expanded a little bit. Hit the subscribe button, comment, do whatever. But we just want to get a good little community going of folks that are chronologically advanced and share information and experience and that sort of thing. So God bless, and look forward to seeing you next time.